1 Quack, and we're talking about commonly confused words. So these are definitions for each of the sets of commonly confused words, and you're going to fill them in on the chart on the back of your handout. First set is accept versus accept. Accept, A-C-C-E-P-T, means to agree, to receive, or do, whereas accept, E-X-C-E-P-T, means not including. Affect versus effect is a little bit easier. Affect with an A is to change or make a difference, and effect with an E is a result or to bring about a result. Pretty generally speaking, if it is a verb, you're talking about how something affects something else. That's always going to be your A version, whereas if you're talking about a noun, the effect of something, that would be with an E. Complement versus complement. Complement, C-O-M-P-L-E-M-E-N-T, means to add, so to improve or an addition that adds something. Whereas compliment with an I is to praise or express approval, an admiring remark. Fewer versus less. They both obviously mean lower, but fewer is you're going to talk about number, whereas less talks about amount. Okay, so my aunt has less hair than my uncle. Okay, hair isn't something that can be counted, so that's an amount. You would use less, whereas my uncle has fewer warts than my aunt. Warts, obviously, unfortunately, can be counted, so that's a number, so you would use fewer. Hear, H-E-A-R, versus hear, H-E-R-E. Hear with an E-A-R is to listen or to use your ear, and that's how a lot of people remember it, with that E-A-R, whereas hear, H-E-R-E, means at this place or point in time. Its versus its. I hate when people mess this one up. Its, without an apostrophe, is a possessive pronoun. So you might say, it's shine, if you're talking about a window, and that would not have an apostrophe. Whereas it's with an apostrophe is a contraction. So over on the right in that little picture, you see it's a filthy animal. It means it is, whereas its name is Bob would not have that apostrophe. There, and there. I'm continually amazed at how many people always mess this one up. There, T-H-E-R-E, is a reflexive pronoun. You see it mainly if you're talking about where something is, it's over there, or sometimes it starts a sentence, there is something. There, T-H-E-I-R, is a possessive pronoun. Okay, it shows belonging, and there, T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E, is in a contraction that shows they are. To, and to. To, T-O, is a preposition. To, T-O-O, means also or lots, and to, T-W-O, is 1 plus 1. Okay, I also see people mess this one up a lot, but it's pretty straightforward. Weather and weather. Weather, W-E-A-T-H-E-R, is what we see outside, rain, snow, sleet, etc. Whereas weather, W-H-E-T-H-E-R, is a conjunction that's used to express a choice or to show choice show truth in either of two choices. Your and your. Your, Y-O-U-R, is a possessive pronoun, and your, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, is a contraction for you are. I think people sometimes think that they are just using an abbreviation when they use Y-O-U-R to mean you are, but that is not acceptable. Okay, this is what a lot of people don't know. Many people use already, A-L-R-E-A-D-Y, for everything, but really A-L-L space ready also has a purpose. That one means that everyone is prepared. We are all ready. Would mean that we are all prepared, whereas already, all one word, means previously or by this time. Aloud, A-L-O-U-D, means out loud. She spoke aloud, whereas allowed, A-L-L-O-W-E-D, means permitted. You're allowed to stay out late. Dessert, everyone pretty much knows the mnemonic device for, well, not really a mnemonic device, but a way to remember this one. Desert versus dessert. Dessert has 2 S's because you always want more of it. So a desert with 1 S is a waterless empty area to abandon someone, whereas with 2 S's is the sweet course of a meal. Lead, and lead. Lead, L-E-A-D, as a verb means to guide or show the way, but as a noun it can refer to a type of metal. But lead, L-E-D, would talk about the past tense of that verb lead. Okay, lose and loose. Loose means to unfasten or to set free, whereas lose is to be deprived of or to be unable to find. Loose obviously also means not tightly, like your shoelaces could be tied loosely. Past and past. Past with an ed is the past tense of the verb to pass, whereas past with a t is talking about the opposite of the future. It's a former time or place. Principal and principal. Principal with a PAL at the end means the most important, the head of a school, and a lot of people remember that by thinking of the fact that a principal should be your pal, PAL, whereas principal with a PLE means a fundamental rule or belief. Stationary and stationary. I'll be completely honest, this is one that I had not heard until very later in life. I didn't realize there were two ways to spell stationary. But stationary, as in not moving, someone is stationary, standing still, that is with an ARY at the end, whereas stationary with an ERY refers to those cute sets of writing materials your grandma might give you for Christmas. But I actually really like stationary. Through, through, and through. Through with a THROUGH or through THRU means by means of, finished, or into or out of. THRU you mainly see with like the word drive through, but it is an actual word. And then through THREW means the past tense of throw. Advice and advise. Advice with an ICE is recommendations about what to do, so that would be a noun, whereas advise is the verb form of that, to recommend something. So you could advise someone by giving advice. A lot and a lot. A lot with a space, 2 words, means many or a plethora. Okay, I have a lot of something. Whereas a lot with 2 L's, all one word, means to give or assign as one person's share. So in that speech bubble you see, please allot 1 space for a lot. Kind of confusing. The allot you normally use is 2 words. Altar and altar. An altar with a TAR at the end means a sacred table in a church, whereas an altar with a TER means to change. Assent versus assent. Assent, ASSENT, refers to agreement or approval, whereas ascent with a C is the action of rising or climbing up. Brake and brake. Brake, BRAKE, is a device for stopping a vehicle or to stop a vehicle, whereas break, BREAK, is to separate into pieces or a pause. Capital and capital. CAPITAL is the seat of the government or primary, whereas capital with a TOL is the actual building where that government meets. Coarse and coarse, sadly this is the only one I couldn't find a good picture for, but coarse, COARSE, refers to something that's rough, whereas coarse, COURSE, refers to a direction, a school subject, or a part of a meal. Council and council. Council you see in that picture at the top with a lot of, I don't know, are those people, monsters, potatoes, I don't know. Council, a group of people who manage or advise, and councils often give counsel, which is advice or to advise. Ensure versus insure. Something that you might want to remember is that insure, that starts with an IN, is pretty much only used to talk about insurance, whereas ensure with an E is to make certain that something will happen, ensure that tools and equipment are used correctly, insure to provide compensation if a person dies or property is damaged. And then the last one, imply versus infer. Imply means to suggest, so you're speaking something, whereas infer is after you've already heard something and you're drawing a conclusion. That's shown with the mouth and the ear here in this diagram. Okay, and those are our 29 most commonly confused words, and this is the end of that video.